And welcome back to another episode of Karen About Wrestling. I'm Karen the Intern, and we have an excellent show for you in store this evening. But first, as usual, we're going to talk about our live shows. September 13th, we are in Courtenay. September 14th, we're in Campbell River. September 20th in Duncan. September 21st in Victoria. And October 12th, we are going to be in Souk and also return to the mainland, New Westminster. Get all your tickets and everything 365 related at 365prowrestling.com. Of course, we are always looking for volunteers. If you're interested in volunteering, get in touch with us on any of our social medias. And if you think you have what it takes to be a pro wrestler, come down and check out the Pro Wrestling Academy right here in Victoria. Check out our sister shows as well, Island Main Event Tuesday and Combat right here on the 365 YouTube channel. And like and subscribe and leave a comment. We'd really love that a lot. We love that kind of engagement, and we want to hear from the fans and hear what you guys have to say. So this evening, I'm very excited because it is the first time that we're bringing in somebody from our Ontario promotion, and it's so exciting. It's literally my first time. Now it's very late for them out there, so we're going to try and get right to it. I'm going to let him do all the talking tonight, but I just want to say he's from Kitchener, Ontario, by way of Amarillo, Texas. He's the general manager of 365 in Ontario. Let me introduce you to Tex Lexus. There we go. Hey, how are ya?
How you doing, Karen?
I'm doing so good. It's so nice to finally meet you.
How's everything going out there on the left coast?
The left coast? It's going good. It's going really good, actually. How's things going out East Coast way?
Well, we're kind of in the middle, in Ontario. Yeah, it's not so bad. I mean, we was pretty hot for a while. We had a little bit of rain today. It kind of helped things out. But yeah, things are going great in Ontario. Like everybody knows, 365 Ontario, or 365 Pro Wrestling in Ontario is the premier show in this entire province. And anybody who's been to Guelph, been to any of our shows around, they know I'm not bullshitting you here. I mean, am I allowed to say that here?
Yeah, we'll let that one go.
Doesn't matter. I'll say whatever the hell I want. I'm Tex Lexus, right?
That's right. Awesome. All right. So let's get right into it. How about some wrestling questions?
Oh, sure.
Sure. Okay, great. So tell us about your role at 365 Pro Wrestling.
Well, 365 Pro Wrestling, it's I've been there for almost 9 years now, 8-9 years. Back when it was the PWA, and then rebranded into 365, obviously. I started there as a manager, came in. First night, I was managing the tag team champions, the Modern Day Warriors, Jimmy King, Joey Allen. Very successful run there. And then, went on managing. I was a commissioner there at PWA for a while. Then I was managing again because, apparently my business practices were a little underhanded for their liking. And they kind of stripped me of that role. So I went back to managing again, very successful. I would like to add that every single person that I have managed in pro wrestling has held title gold while I've been managing them. So That speaks for itself. But my role right now, I'm the general manager. I'm making sure that everybody's following the rules, making sure that everybody's playing the straight way. So it's going well. It's going really well. We're selling out shows. We've been selling out shows for 2+ years now. Every single time, the Red Chevron in Guelph, it's crazy. The fans are super excited to be there to see the best show in Ontario, and we deliver.
That is fantastic. I would love to come out and check out the promotion out in Ontario sometime. If you ever have a need for an intern for any reason.
Intern, outturn, whatever you want to be, Karen. I'll put you on the VIP list, and we'll sit you there right there in the front row, and you can be, you'd be Texas VIP. How about that?
I would be honored. That would be the most amazing thing, honestly. Let's try and make that happen. Hey?
All right. You pay for your own flight, though. I'm not handing out free tickets here.
Okay, no, fair enough. Yeah, and that's flights to Ontario aren't that cheap from the West Coast, but that's okay because I would definitely make an effort if I could sit in the front row and be your VIP guest for the evening. That would be quite something, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It would be
All right.
fantastic. Now,
Yeah.
before we get started here, I wanted to, I was wondering if you guys out there in British Columbia knew the history of British Columbia and how that all came about. Is that what they teach in schools? Do they teach you that kind of stuff?
I'm actually from Alberta, so if you
Well,
ask me about
well,
Alberta, I could probably tell you, but not so much BC.
well. What I can tell you from what I learned is it started way back in the day there when the British and the Colombians both merged in on that land, right? And they both wanted to live there, but so the British are on one side, the Colombians on the other side, and so instead of fighting a war to get the territory, what they decided to do was just eat a bunch of mushrooms that were growing around in the forest there in BC, and they just had a big party. They had a good time, and they decided to call it British Columbia. That's a fact. You can look that up.
That sounds extremely true. I believe you
Yeah,
wholeheartedly.
absolutely.
That just makes total
If you
sense to
have
me.
time later, I'll tell you how Calgary was formed by two guys by the name of Cal and Gary, who got along quite well, and they decided to form a town together.
I need to hear that story. I don't think I've ever heard that one. That would be that's a good. I would love to hear
Well,
that.
that's basically the story there, Karen. I don't
That's
have any
just
more
it.
for that. Yeah, that's it.
They were just
Cal,
okay.
Gary, they're like, hey, let's live together, make a town, and that's what they did. Now they got a
Okay.
rodeo there. It's really good, or a stampede. I've been. It's really nice.
Yeah, kind of
Yeah.
like remind you of home a little bit in Amarillo, Texas.
Yeah, a little bit. Maybe a smaller version. How about a Dollarama version of Amarillo, Texas?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, pretty much.
Awesome. So I wanted to ask you actually just recently, as I was, creeping through all your Facebook to come up with questions for this interview, I saw all this promotion about Amazing Race.
Right.
So they filmed an episode there at 365 Pro Wrestling, right?
They absolutely did. And if you have television in British Columbia, you can watch the episode.
Oh, yeah, we do.
You have TV there, right?
We do have TV. Yes.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, the Amazing Race, they decided they were going to do a wrestling based challenge. So they obviously they wanted the best, right? It's the best reality race show in Canada. They wanted the best wrestling promotion. So they called up 365. They said, hey, we want to put you in part of the show. We want to make a challenge out of this. So you think you can put up a show for us? And we said, yeah, sure, why not? So we ended up going to some church in Guelph, and yeah, it was a great time. It was full production, very, very nice catering, everything. They treated us like superstars, which we are. And yeah, it was a full day of good times. Being a fan of the show, my wife and I, we like to watch the Canadian version, the American version. Sometimes we watch the Filipino version, which is also very good. But we watch the Amazing Race all the time. So to be part of it was like a dream come true. Really good, really good.
Fantastic. Yeah, I can't wait to watch the episode. So is it already aired yet, or is it coming up?
It aired last week, Tuesday nights, and I believe the rerun was played last night. But of course, you can go on ctv.ca. You can watch it. You can watch it on the CTV app. If you PVR'd, if you were smart enough to PVR it, if you couldn't work, or if you couldn't watch it because you were working or whatever. So it is available. I mean, the 365 Pro Wrestling is on there. I'm sure it's their highest rated show. I'm sure it's going to be replayed in syndication throughout the rest of time.
Absolutely. It 100% will. So let me ask you, who of the stable of wrestlers and other talent at 365, were some of those wrestlers actually featured right in the episode? Are we going to get to see some of our fan favorites on that episode?
You absolutely will, Karen. You see, what they did was they had one of the contestants would come in and they had to learn a sequence of pro wrestling moves and then go into the ring and perform it on their trainer. And the trainer were six of our highest, most talented wrestlers that we have. I believe Eddie Osborne was one of them. The 365 Pro Wrestling Champion, Super K, was there. Wanda Del Rey, Sammy Sierra, CJ Graham. Am I missing anybody? If I'm missing anybody, somebody please tell me, because it'll come to me. There were 6 of them. How many did I mention?
I think that was 6. I think you got all 6.
Oh, there you go.
That's awesome.
And of course, yours truly, Tex Lexus, was ringside, making sure everything was going smoothly. So yeah, if you watch the episode, you can see all of that. You can see all the great young talents and the veterans training, and it's great. It's from my point. I mean, I didn't get too much camera time. That's fine. I wasn't really part of the show. I was just a prop there, right? But to see the wrestlers who really deserve the exposure, the veterans and the new guys and the new girl, Wanda, she's great. Everybody who was on the show, they deserve some national television exposure because they really are the cream of the crop here in Ontario.
Absolutely. Oh, I seriously cannot wait to watch that. It's so great because I follow a lot of these folks already on Facebook and Instagram. You know, I'm a big fan of all things wrestling. And since I've been involved in 365, I've been very intrigued by the Ontario folks. So, and sometimes they come out here to wrestle too, which is really nice. Is there ever a chance you might make your way out west for any reason?
Well, funny you mention it. I am heading out to British Columbia next month. But I'm going to be on the mainland. I'm not going to make it out to the island. We're going to visit some friends out in Kelowna. We're going to head to Kamloops.
Nice.
But basically around there, maybe heading to the mountains, maybe to Whistler, something like that. But for the most part, we're going to be on the mainland. I don't think I'll make it to the island. But, you know, if plane ticket lands in my mailbox and they say, hey, Tex, come on out for free. Sure, I can make it out to the island. I've been out there before. It's really nice. I've been to Tofino. I was surfing out there. I've been to Victoria, down at the harbor, really nice. We stayed in Euclid, down by the what's that? The great the trail there, the walking trail, the West Coast Trail is what it's called.
West Coast Trail.
Yeah, we were out there, and then we went through what's the place there with the big trees? Cathedral Grove. That's what it's called. Yeah, really nice. I love the island, but this time it's not in the cards, so we're going to be staying on the mainland for this one.
Well, that's fair enough. The mainland welcomes you regardless, I'm sure. But hey, listen, hard to believe we're already through the first segment. We got to take a little commercial break. So I hope all you folks out there in YouTube land stick around. Hope you're going to stick around for the next couple segments too, Tex.
Got to pay those bills.
All right, we'll be right back. Karen the Intern here with Tex Lexus, and you're watching Karen About Wrestling. Oh, looks like he's taking a phone call.
Hang on, Jacob. Hang on. I'm on the video chat here with Karen. Yeah, Karen About Wrestling. It's a big show. I'm sure you've heard about it. Yeah, okay. So just cook the steak the way I like it and just shut up, okay? All right. Let's go, Karen. Shoot,
Always
next question.
All right. Okay. So, you are the GM, so that's got to be a difficult job at times. Sometimes you have to make some hard decisions about things. And as I was going through your Facebook, I found out that you had suspended some folks, a guy named Eric recently.
Oh, yeah.
What happened?
That was a couple months ago. Well, the thing with Eric is he's a very talented wrestler, one of the best in Ontario, one of the best in Canada, if you ask me. But he's got a bit of an ego, likes to, play by his own rules. But in 365 Ontario, I'm the one that makes the rules, okay? So he was kind of, going into business for himself a little bit, kind of cheating, getting involved in other people's matches and stuff like that. So I basically gave him an ultimatum. I said, look, you're going to fight CJ Graham right now, and if you don't win this match, actually, I think it was a triple threat match. I kind of stacked the cards against him. It was not CJ Graham. It was Sammy Sierra and Aiden Phoenix, I believe. Although I could be getting very confused. I'm involved with a whole lot of wrestling right now. Long story short, Eric Kearney was supposed to win the match. He didn't win the match, and I rewarded him with a 60-day suspension. Because earlier on, he took a few liberties with me, destroyed one of my hats, and he put his hands around my neck, that kind of stuff. And I just don't tolerate that. So, yeah, 60-day suspension. I believe that should be coming up by the end of September. So he should be at the September show. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's what's happening.
Do you think he learned his lesson?
I hope so. I mean, next time he's going to get 120-day suspension.
Whoa. That's a lot. That's a lot for a wrestler. Missing 6 months of wrestling. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm sure he's you clearly run a tight ship over there.
Well, I do. I mean, I do it for the fans. I want the fans to have the best experience they can at the Red Chevron or at any of our shows, really. And the fans are what makes the show. And if they're upset about some guy, doing stuff that he shouldn't be doing, then I got to take care of that. I take that personally.
That makes total sense to me. I think we need some of that out here in the West because I feel like it's a bit of the Wild West out here sometimes. And, wrestlers are just doing a lot of cheating and underhanded stuff and foreign objects and all that kind of stuff. And it just kind of just goes unpunished. So maybe we need some law out here
Yeah, maybe you do. Maybe you do. See, that used to be my game. My credo growing up from my grandpappy Ezekiel, he taught me one thing. He said, Tex, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Right? And I took that to heart. So that's the way I lived through I'm 49 now. So for about 40 years of my life, that's the way I lived. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, Get any underhanded tactic the way to get the outcome of what you want. But recently I've seen the light, and I realized that my ways were not the best way. And the best way to do it now is to, make sure that the fans are having the best experience that they can have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if that means making sure that the cheaters aren't cheating, then that's what you got to do, right?
That's right.
So, do you have a bowling team?
I did have a bowling team. That was if you're just seeing that on Facebook, that was for charity. We were raising money for SMS, which is a very serious condition that some youngsters can get from childbirth. Completely honest, I don't know the full details of it. I know it's very bad, and it affects children and people growing up. Puts them in a very precarious situation in their life. So we were there doing some bowling, trying to raise some money for that, and I believe we did raise quite a bit that day. So it was good. It was a good, fun day of bowling, and it's always nice for me to show off my other skills other than pro wrestling and business management, that kind of stuff. And I am a pretty tight bowler there, so it was good to show off in front of the people like that.
I love that. That's so good. Yeah, it's good to be multi-talented, right?
Yeah, you got to get the jealousy from all angles, right? That's the way to do it.
Were you ever a wrestler, or were you always more in a management role?
Well, I started in this business pretty late in life. When I was, I believe I was 40 at the time. I was down in Tulsa, Oklahoma, at WrestleCon. It was a conference down there, and Lenny Lilac just happened to be down there, and that's how I got introduced into wrestling up here in Ontario. I did a little bit of management down in Texas, down in Oklahoma, Tennessee, did a little bit around there, but nothing major. But Lenny Lilac was down there. We got talking. We had a few drinks, and he was like, "Hey, I'm looking to get in the ring, and I'm managing a tag team right now, and I'd like to sell you their contract so I can get in the ring." And so that's what he did. And he brought me up into Kitchener. I, scouted to make sure it was the team that I wanted, which, like I said before, Modern Day Warriors, Joey Allen, and Jimmy King. They were very impressive. They already had tag team gold, so I thought, why not, And so that's how I got into the wrestling business here. And since then, like I said, I was a bit of a bad boy for a while, so I got into a little bit of heat with people and forced me into the ring, a couple matches. And so to date, I've had 3 matches in my life, and I am 1-2. So I'm still doing okay. At least I'm not 0-3.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I wouldn't even in a million years dare get in the ring ever. So I applaud you for even having the guts to do that at all, quite frankly.
It's not easy. So, I have a lot of respect for the wrestlers, the guys and girls that do it here, do it all over the world. And if you're stepping in a wrestling ring and you're taking bumps and you're throwing down like that, I got a lot of respect for you because that is not easy stuff.
Absolutely. I have seen some crazy stuff in the ring, and I definitely have a lot of respect for the folks that are putting everything on the line for their fans and for the sport, right? So Yeah. So you were in Japan 4 years ago ish.
Yeah. Me and Lenny Lilac were out there. We were at the Tokyo
Yeah.
Dome. That was during the temple run when I had myself a little. I guess you could call it a faction. It was more like a brainwashing religious cult. But we had thousands of followers here in Ontario and all over the world. And yeah, we were Mr. Yamamoto from Japan. He invited us over. Said, you know, we're going to pay you a whole lot of yen to come over here and do a match at the Tokyo Dome. So yeah, that's what we did. It was just a one night affair. We were quickly there, quickly out. You know, Lilac did a few things that made the Japanese government a little bit leery of our visit there. So they made us, you know, promptly get on a plane and come back home, which was fine. I mean, I had some money riding on the Super Bowl that year, so I had to get in here and make sure that everything was kosher. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt. So, so you got kicked out of Japan,
Yeah.
is what I got from that.
Again.
Did you say again?
Again, yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. The other one I don't want to talk about too much.
Oh, that's
fair.
But
yeah, it was twice.
Okay, all right. Well, I think that's a very unique distinction because I certainly haven't, to my knowledge, been kicked out of any countries at all. So I think that's pretty impressive, quite frankly.
Well,
do you like sushi? Like, did you eat a lot of sushi when you were there?
Love sushi, sure.
Yeah.
Especially made over there. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Around here, you go to the all-you-can-eat places. It tastes like you're eating rubber.
Yeah, or like the gas station or something. That's not
sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't get it at the gas station. That's the problem.
That's all right. So believe it or not, we got to take another commercial break. So hope you guys stick around, and hope you're going to stick around, Tex. We'll see you guys in a few minutes.
Don't go nowhere.
That's right. I'm Karen the Intern, and I'm here this evening with Tex Lexus, all the way from Ontario by way of Amarillo, Texas. So excited to have you on the show this evening. I wanted to ask you, you know, I've been an intern here for like about, I don't know, 6 or 9 months or something, and I was just like thinking like if hypothetically I wanted to like become a manager, you know, Karen the manager, what would I have to do that? Do you got any advice on how I can climb the ladder?
Well, you know, I've been asked this quite a bit on, you know, people coming up to me in the shows saying, Tex, I'm a big fan. I want to be like you. I want to dress like you. I want to act like you. I want to be a manager like you. And, you know, I don't know what to tell you. This is just me. You know, it's me, and I'm managing a wrestler, trying to make that wrestler win a match. I don't know what else to tell you on how to do it. Now, the way to get into it. Now, Karen, you're already halfway there. You're already doing the intern thing. You got your foot in the door already. But for anybody else who wants to be a wrestling manager, or even a wrestler for that matter, you're going to have to go to some sort of training ground, some sort of school. All right. Now, in order to do that, you're going to have to get some connections. So you're going to have to go to a show. Go to a show. Talk to the person who's in charge. If you don't know who's in charge, talk to the person at the front door. The front door person knows everything. So the front door person will direct you to the right person. Talk to that guy or that girl. Say, look, I want to be a wrestler. What can I do? That person is the right person to give you the step-by-step. Not me, okay? Because I kind of, like I said, I just kind of slid my way in there. First night I was managing the wrestler, the tag team champions. You know, there was no looking back from there. I mean, I didn't have to, I wasn't, you know, paying my dues or cutting my teeth or anything like that. I went in and instantly superstar, just like that.
That's impressive. Like, so you just walked in and you just kind of owned the place, it sounds like.
I wouldn't say I own the place, but I own the fans. How about that?
Yeah, I like that, though. That's a big part of it for sure. So I wanted to ask you, so the only Ontario wrestler I think that I've ever met in person was Chico, and it was actually my very first interview ever with a wrestler, and it was Chico.
Yeah.
And it was a fantastic night. He had a fantastic match. Everybody was congaing around, to his theme music. It was so fun and fantastic. And then I heard that he's actually Lenny Lilac.
Yeah, exactly. Now that's what happened last show, which you may have seen pictures of me in a neck brace. You may have seen the x-rays. I had a fractured neck because we had a number one contender match. I'll go to the backstory of it. We had number one contender match. Winner becomes the number one contender for the 365 Pro Wrestling Championship, the richest prize in the game. So Chico is one of the contenders in that. So it was a tournament. Tournament. Chico loses his preliminary match, decides to come out during the final match without the mask on because it was ripped off by Super K, all bloody, and it turned out it was in fact Lenny Lilac. There was a lot of speculation for a year or so that Chico was Lilac. It wasn't Lilac. Who is it? We don't know. But yeah, it turned out it was Lenny Lilac. So he came out and he basically, gave the match to Super K, smashing CJ Graham with a chair. And then I came out to find out what the hell was going on because, like I said, I run a tight ship and I don't need this kind of crap in my promotion. So I came out and Lenny Lilac decided to put his hands around my neck, started thrashing me around like a rag doll. I mean, I'm not a very big man, and he's about 300 pounds something. So, it was a scary situation for me, and I had to go to the hospital, get myself some surgery. But as you can see, it's doing pretty good right now. But
yeah.
Like I said, that piece of trash Lilac was in fact Chico the whole time, doing the conga, eating nachos, doing all that crazy stuff, trying to convince the fans that he was a good guy when it was really just that piece of trash Lilac.
I feel very deceived. I'm not going to lie. Because, I haven't heard good things about Lenny Lilac at all.
Well,
so, yeah.
Like I said, if you're on Lilac's side, he's a good guy. But if he's not on your side, you better watch your back.
Yeah. That's a little scary to me because he's not a little guy by any means. So so that was a pretty crazy match from the sounds of it. What's the craziest match you've ever witnessed in person, though?
Oh, dear God. I've been in this business quite a long time. I mean, you should have asked me this as a hey, Tex, we're going to ask you this in the future because really nothing comes to mind. I mean, a whole bunch comes to mind, but none of that is super, super crazy. I remember, one time, Homicide, he busted Joey Allen open something real fierce. There was a ton of blood all over the place. That was pretty wild. We've had a few, extreme matches or hardcore matches, that kind of stuff, where a whole host of objects and weapons have been in the ring, that kind of stuff. I mean, some really great, professional wrestling matches themselves. I remember one time years back, Speedball Mike Bailey was in town. He fought Josh Alexander. People are still talking about that match. There was another one with El Reverso and Josh, where Josh, I think he handcuffed handcuffed El Reverso's hands behind his back, but Reverso still managed to wrestle the match. He did a lion salt. He did a whole bunch of crazy stuff with his hands behind his back. I've never seen anything like it. That was really great. I don't know, man. There have been so many great matches that I've seen here. Craziness. I mean, like I said, if you would have given me the prompt, I would have thought of something a little bit more specific. But we put on a great show. Like I said, every time in Ontario, it's a great show. So you go home leaving with great memories, and that kind of pushes all the rest of the memories to the back, right? So if you're asking me about matches from 5 years ago, I got no idea, Karen.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. I think most matches are to some degree crazy, right? I think that's kind of the thing of it. So
well, they can be, yeah.
But those like extreme matches, like the death matches and stuff. I just saw one not too long ago with the fluorescent light tubes and the whole bit, and it got pretty crazy and a little bloody, and all that kind of stuff. But it was rowdy, and the crowd was loving every second of it. And it was like the watching the gladiators fight. You know what I mean? That's what it
Yeah,
reminded me of. It was crazy.
you hit the nail right on the head there, Karen. As long as the fans are having a good time, it's a great match, right? If
Yes.
the fans are into it and the fans are rowdy and they're loud and they're cheering or they're booing or they're doing whatever the hell what they want, if they're into it, then I'm into it. That's what the whole point of having a wrestling show is, to entertain the fans.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I got to tell you, I'm like just thrilled to be part of this whole 365 world nation. It's pretty incredible all the way around. So we've been talking a lot about wrestling, and we're actually getting close to the end of the interview. Are you okay if we talk about like some not wrestling stuff for a minute?
Sure, why not?
All right. We'll try not to get too personal though.
Hang on a
So what do
second. Jacob, get my lawyers on the line just in case Karen gets out of line, all right? All right. All right, go on.
Oh, okay. All right. I've been warned. All right. So what do you do when you're not being the GM of 365?
Well, I'm heavily involved in the music industry a little bit. I was just down a couple months ago. I was down in Nashville. I was helping a major country artist work on his new album, helping produce that. Now I can't give you a name. It's got to keep it hush hush until that album gets released. But be on the lookout for that. Read the liner notes. If you see the name Tex Lexus, that's me. So yeah, I do a lot of music. I play music myself. Anything to do with that. I like that. I like traveling. My wife and I, we love traveling. We go all over the place. Not just here in Canada. We like to, like I said, I'm going out west next month, but we like to go all over the place too. And I got a dog. I love my dog. A good day for me is just hanging out in the backyard, watching the dog run around, chasing after a ball or something like that. I love that. I'm a pretty simple guy. I mean, I might look like I got everything going for me, which I do. But, I like to keep it on the low a little bit, sometimes take the private jet out, something like that. But for the most part, I like to just chill out in the backyard, strum the guitar a little bit, watch the dog run around.
Nice. I love that. I too am a musician. So what do you play? Do you guitar? You're a guitar player mostly?
I
Or?
play the guitar, yeah. And, I do a little singing too for the boys. I got some friends in Toronto. We got a little band there, and I do the singing for them. Basically, because they're just, massively talented musicians, and I can't keep up on the guitar with them. So, I fill in the vocals for them. But yeah, for the most part, I just play the guitar.
That is awesome. Can you share the name of the band?
Well, we've been changing the name quite a bit. I think right now we are Garden Gnome, but that's been changed several times. So if you're looking for a Garden Gnome song on the internet, it might not even be possible. It might be moved on to something else after that.
That's fair. That's fair. Garden Gnome, though, that's a fantastic name for a band, honestly. If you go to karaoke, what's your go-to karaoke song?
Oh man, I'm pretty eclectic when it comes to the karaoke. I'll throw you anything from the Humpty Dance all the way to Rock You Like a Hurricane.
I love that.
Yeah. Come to a karaoke bar with me after I've had a few pops, and we'll have a good time.
Oh yeah, well, I will definitely take you up on that. I'm a huge fan of the karaoke. So, what is the best movie you've seen recently?
Recently, oh boy. Okay, I'm gonna fill you in on a little something. It started a few years ago. My wife and I, we do. I mean, we used to watch. We're big horror movie fans. All right, anything scary, we like it. Now, we started a tradition where we were going to watch a movie every night in October that was of the horror genre up until Halloween, all right? But the stipulation was it had to be a movie that neither of us have seen. Now, think about doing that for a couple years, and then recently we've added September into it, so it's September and October. This year, for some reason, we started last week, so now we're in August. We're going to be going all the way to Halloween with movies of the horror genre that we've never seen before. Now, think about that in your head for a little bit. How many really great horror movies there are? We've already seen them. Now you're really scraping the bottom of the barrel. The closer you get to Halloween, the really bottom of the barrel you're scraping, right? So you're asking me the best movie that I've seen recently. I can't give you one because I've seen a whole bunch of crap this past week. I don't know. I don't even know what the names of some of these ones are. They're so terrible. But, we enjoy it. It's the kind of nonsense you can, stimulate the brain with a little bit. And it's what we like, I guess. Let me see. Good movie. Let me see. What did I see? I went to the theater a few weeks ago. Now, I'm not saying it's a good movie because I really didn't like it, but I watched that Nicolas Cage one, Long Legs. You seen that one? You heard of that?
Not.
They're calling it like the new Silence of the Lambs. It ain't the new Silence of the Lambs. It's the silence of garbage. It's not good at all. I mean, it was getting great reviews. People were saying, oh, it's so great. I thought it was kind of stupid. But yeah, I mean, that's the one I've seen that I can remember the name of. For the most part, the ones that we've watched for this Halloween thing, I don't know, man. They're nothing good so far.
Do you have a favorite genre of horror movie, like psychological or like paranormal or slasher, body horror?
I was just talking to my wife about this yesterday. We were watching one. It was more of a psychological haunting type thing. And those are always a real like slow ramp up until sometimes you don't get anything good until the last 5 minutes. And then boom, the credits are rolling, right? So I was saying what I like is the slasher flick, because the slasher flick starts boom right away. There you go. We're getting it going right away. That's what I want to see. Why are we watching a horror movie anyways? You want to be entertained with some horror stuff. I mean, I don't need to be getting the chills for an hour and a half and then have something scary happen, for the last 5 minutes. I like to get the action going. So to answer your question, I would say, as pedestrian as it is, I think the slasher flicks are my favorite.
I love me a good slasher movie. Those were the horror movies of my teenage years, primarily, I would say, the Freddy Krueger and Jason and all that kind of stuff.
If you're a kid of the 80s, that's what you like, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So believe it or not, we're at the end of the interview here. But before I let you go, would you like to do a little lightning round with me?
Sure.
Some rapid fire questions.
You got it. I'll be the thunder to your lightning.
Excellent. I love that. That's the best answer I've had so far.
That's what the T stands for.
I love that, by the way. All right, here we go. Star Trek or Star Wars?
Neither.
Ooh, pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yep.
Frozen yogurt or ice cream?
Ice cream, duh.
Potato salad or coleslaw?
Creamy coleslaw, not the oily kind.
I'm with you there. Favorite candy?
Oh boy, I'm a little bit of a junkie when it comes to that. How about the candy aisle?
The candy aisle in its entirety?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay, Macho Man, Hulk, or Ultimate Warrior?
No to Warrior, and I really liked Macho growing up as a kid, so I'm going to go with Macho.
Almost everybody says Macho. Your favorite band?
My favorite band right now, I would have to say I've been listening to a lot of bluegrass country music right now. I'm a big fan of Jason Isbell and the 400 Unit. I'm a big fan of Sturgill Simpson. I like Tyler Childers. So, yeah, let's put those three up there.
Excellent. I've never heard of any of those, and I'm very excited to check them out now. So are you Team Freddy Krueger or Team Jason Voorhees?
Voorhees, 100%.
King Kong or Godzilla?
Whatever. Don't matter to me.
What's your favorite YouTube channel?
Favorite YouTube channel? Probably Rick Beato. He's an old music producer, fountain of knowledge, old guy who basically knows everybody in the music business, and super smart, super talented when it comes to music. I love listening to him talk and do his interviews, do his podcast, that kind of stuff.
Awesome. Well, that brings us to the end of our lightning round, if you can believe it.
Amazing. How'd I do?
You did fantastic. Probably best ever, I would say. Yeah, for sure. But we won't tell the other people that. Or maybe we just did.
Oh, I'll tell them.
Yeah.
I'll make sure they know.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Tex Lexus, for being my guest this evening. It's been quite a pleasure. I hope we'll see you around. Maybe I'll make my way out to Ontario one of these days.
That'd be great. It's nice,
Awesome. All right.
nice talking to you tonight there, Karen.
Thank you very much, and thank you to everybody watching out there. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave some comments below, and we will see you next time on Karen About Wrestling.
That's right, people. Tex Lexus is Karen About Wrestling.